So, a big news coming out of Crawley's Under Football Club, of course, is the signing of a new contract for Matis Holicek, one of the youngsters that the club has a lot of high hopes for. Like quite a few of those have been making it into the first team squad this season. And obviously Matis Holicek has been one of those, but now a new contract, a long-term future sorted out. Not a bad bit of work, I suppose, for somebody who's celebrated his 18th birthday. And we got a new contract, and one person who's involved in a lot of that, of course, is Michael Jackson, the Under-21s manager, and also part of the first team managerial setup. And first of all, Michael, just looking at what's happened with Matis Holicek, how pleasing is that for you as part of the management team and part of the coaching team?
Yeah, obviously we're delighted. Everyone at the football club is delighted. Obviously, local boy. For him to sign the contract, which keeps him here till 2027, something that we're really pleased about, something that we've wanted to get over the line, and thankfully it's done.
And for him as well, it wasn't easy, was it? Because he would have had all sorts of things being pushed towards him to see what other people might have been looking for his future to go elsewhere. But he's made that decision, and that's vital.
Yeah, and I think it shows what he cares about us as a football club. You know what it's like now. The players, good players, get a lot of attention from everywhere, and the fact that he's decided he wants to stay with us and he trusts us is something that everyone at the football club should be really pleased about.
And in the last few months as well, over a period of time, you've had quite a lot of that group of players that you've wanted to get sign up for the football club. How crucial was that to see them giving their back into what you're trying to do?
Yeah, really important. It's a two-way thing, isn't it? We've got their best interests at heart, and they almost show that loyalty, if you like, for how we treat them, and how we sort of look after them and guide them through their pathway, if you like. So yeah, I think that's a real strength of the football club, that bond that we do get with the players, and it helps getting them at a young age. That helps develop that connection, if you like, between the coaches and the players, and is obviously a big part of the success.
Well, here we are walking around the Reezy training ground. This is where it all happens, doesn't it? This is it. This is the green grass outside, and of course now the signed, sealed and delivered sort of business with the contract is finished. It's all about hard work for him and the other youngsters.
Yeah, of course. He's had a little bit of a carrot in terms of he's been on the bench a few times for the first team, obviously playing a lot of 21 reserve games. But like you say, he signed the contract. That's not him now done. It's still the start, really. He's got a lot to prove, and which he will do. Works really hard, and he's got to continue to do that and keep pushing on and get as far as he can, really.
You're the coach who had him in his early days. Now he's 18 years of age.
Yeah.
You've seen him progress. What are his real strengths?
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching the video on Twitter yesterday, and some of the goals he scored, have been terrific throughout the years. Took him under 12. If I'm honest, he can do a bit of everything. What he is he's a creative player with a lot of ability. Handles the ball marked, can manipulate, can go both ways, and an area of the game he probably needs to get better at scoring goals, because we think he can. Because ultimately he is an attacking player, so he'll be judged on how many goals does he score and how many does he create in the end. So that's a real focus of Matis going forward.
Fingers crossed, the future looks bright. Let's look back over what has been a new role for you since the start of the season. We spoke to you, of course, in the summer. You become the Under-21s manager. You become a part of the first team set up with the coaching and being there on match days. How do you think it's gone, and what have you learned?
Yeah, really enjoying it. Being around the first team environment is completely different. I think I mentioned it last time I spoke to you. It's about developing a winning mentality and environment, which it's not the case in academies. It's not the priority. The priority in the academy, sort of younger age groups, is developing the boys' talent, and not as much emphasis is put on that. Now you're at this level, I think the manager said it before, wants to develop that winning mentality, and that's probably the biggest sort of difference that I've seen, the importance of getting the 3 points on a Saturday.
Halfway through, of course, the start of the season, managerial position changed, and obviously Lee Bell went into that role. Are you feeling now that everything's settled down and you're seeing the way that he wants to implement everything at the football club at all the levels?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think we're settled now. Everyone knows where they're at, and you know, like I said, the manager, he's all about winning. He has been in his career as a footballer, and he's taking that into management now. So yeah, we're all on the same path, if you like. We're all heading in the right direction. So you know, positive times ahead.
It was interesting, you know, the supporters follow what goes on at all levels here. The die-hard supporters want to know what's going on. I don't know whether, my recollection, has ever been an incident-packed Under-21 game like the one that you had recently against Burnley. How was that? It ended up winning, but all sorts of things were going off.
Yeah, it really ebbed and flowed, the game. The boys obviously had to show real good character to bounce back twice against a really good opposition. Burnley were causing us a lot of problems in the first half, lots of rotation, overload in the middle of the pitch, and it took us a while to get to grips with that. And as you say, there was a lot of incidents in the game, which would have been good for the neutrals to watch if they were there.
It turned out all right for Connor Evans as well, didn't it? Because he got a hat trick. It doesn't matter whether there were two of those three were penalty kicks either, because not everybody can convert a penalty.
That's right, and he took both penalties really well, both in different styles. I said to him after the game, I think he's had some harsh words recently, but that performance typified the victory. He was the real catalyst of that. He obviously scored the first penalty, and then his second goal sort of made out of nothing really, through his drive and his endeavour, which we know Connor has, and he was the real catalyst for that, for the fight back in the win, I guess.
And the other part of that was new players were coming into the squad and coming into the club as we get towards the end of the transfer window. It was an ideal opportunity that the manager and yourself could give a couple of those minutes. How do you look at them, likes of David Amu and Ryan Finnegan and any other player who's come into the club? What do you look for? Attitude and application?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we want good people at the football club, and yeah, yesterday was a good opportunity to see them, see what they're about. Obviously, we've had reports on them and obviously scouted them. That's why they're here. But obviously, it's good to see it in person in a game, and it was important for them to get some minutes and get their sort of journey going with Crewe Alexandra.
Well, we've nearly walked 10 miles. I think it's about time we wrapped it all up, or otherwise we might walk into the machinery. But it's been fascinating to just get an insight, of course, what's going on at the football club at the moment. Here we are now going into the second half of the season. And we know all about the under-21s and the youth players and this, that and the other. But just focusing on that first team setup, which you're part of, what's the ambition? What do you think the fans should be hoping that can happen in the second half?
We want to win as many football games as possible. That's the ambition, and see where it takes us. Now, obviously, we'd love to get into the playoffs. That's an ambition, but ultimately we've just got to focus on the next game and win as many as we can, and we'll see where it takes us, Graham.